Fragrance of the day. Chanel, 1957. Start out with Chanel 1957. And round it out with one of my favorite fragrances on the planet. This stuff right here, Chanel Boy, especially in the spring and summertime, I can forget about it. Oh my God, that stuff is so good. Hip Hop Hotels in Tampa welcome you. Thank you. Godfather's about to start fluting out again. Time to take the show on the road. But let's get into it. Apparently, what's been going on? Anything new? Oh my God. Anything new? I asked the question. I started to do a different broadcast. I was going to say, ladies, it's time for you to make a choice. You got to choose. You have to choose between feeling good and better. And you have to choose between good outcomes and feeling good. That's it. Let me go ahead and make a little public service announcement. You are going to have to choose between feeling good and doing good, getting good. That's going to be your choice, because there are people out here who honestly believe you're dumb. They believe you're dumb. They believe you're stupid. They believe that all they have to do is keep telling you what you want to hear. Just keep telling you what you want to hear, and you'll keep. Let's do that again. There are people out here who honestly believe this is all we got to do. That's what people believe they have to do. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, don't go in my chat room saying silly stuff. I'm going to get you blocked, okay? And don't, let me also say this. Don't come in here mentioning any other content creator's name. If you say somebody else's name, I will block you. Come in here saying anybody else's name, you got one shot at it, and you will get blocked. You want to say somebody's name, go elsewhere. No free press. That's the warning. All right. Bottom line is this, man. Bottom line is this. Ladies, you're going to have to decide whether you want to feel good or do good. There we go. Bye-bye. I got you even better. I'll just do this. Now y'all love silence. Thank you to the dunces in the classroom. So, ladies, what is your SMV? Because one thing I can say over here, the people who think you're stupid don't have anything for you, because there are no men on their side. You can say what you want about this person, that person, but one thing is for sure. Men build the world. Men build societies. Men build communities. And the men are on this side. On the side that makes you feel good, it's a bunch of men asking you for your money, telling you what you want to hear, but they don't have ne'er a man for you. I have yet to hear anybody say, I've got more couples together than him. I got more folks married than him. And that's not even my business. So, ladies, you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to have people keep telling you? Do you want people to keep thinking that all you need to make you happy is to tell you what you want to hear? Or have you decided that you want to have a better outcome? For the women who decided they want to have a better outcome, those are the people I want to talk to. The people who just want to hear what they want to hear, kindly exit stage left. That's what it comes right down to. Kindly exit stage left. These are reflective. Hold up. Because see, one thing I don't do is I don't beef. I don't beef and I don't go back and forth trading insults and slick disses and all other stuff with other content creators, because I do the work. I let the work and the results speak for themselves. So have at it. But what you won't do is you won't come over here and disrupt the train. The train is going that way. Now, today's broadcast, ladies, what is your SMV? The question I asked on Instagram and on YouTube is, no matter how you slice it, at the end of the day, unless you want to live with a woman with the rest of your life and get platonically married, you're going to have to decide how you're going to operate with a man. And the bottom line is, ladies, what do you think your sexual marketplace value is? And it is very simple. You take your face and rank it 0 to 10. You cannot use 7. Fresh face out of the shower, your natural face, your natural hair. Put that on the board. Then you take your body, 0 to 10, and you put that on the board. Add them together, divide by 2. That's what it is. And you round down. So if you got an 8 in the face and a 9 in the body, that means you're a 17. Divide by 2, that's an 8. I got a video I'm uploading regarding this because whether women want to believe it or not, worldwide, people will tell you Eurocentric standards of beauty. That's bullshit. The kind and caliber of man you want something. He wants something for his accomplishments and efforts. And it's not, not just to get the bare minimum. So, let me do this right now. Let me add all these. Cause see, I love this is beautiful. So there's something called a filter. Yeah. Let's do that. So that's how it goes. Ladies, what do you want? To feel good? To feel good, sound good, or be good? That's your choice. Sound good, feel good, or be good. Number 1. Number 2. Do you actually know how to rank yourself? Do you know how to rank yourself? Do you know how to rank yourself? Because one of the biggest disconnects tends to be these days is women. Over the last year, I've seen women consistently rank themselves higher than a man would rank. And why is that important? Well, ladies, because if you're ranking yourself higher than the men would rank you, that means you're going to actually think you deserve a different level. Am I missing something? Looking at this settings profile. So let's get into it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Sharing. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. Put that word there. Put that word here. So, set to auto snipe. Bingo. Here we go. If you want to get on Tommy, here we go.
Kevin! And you
Motherfucking hustler. What's going on?
Wait, I gotta put on my thing. I have no makeup. Don't do
this. Well, come back.
Right here. I go right here. Hold on. You cute without makeup. What's good, Kevin?
What's
you like
going
my
on?
hair?
What the fridge shows? What the hell?
Is
Is this like a Thriller video?
Shut the fuck up! No, this is a look for it's fashion, baby. Don't worry, we do this.
Okay.
So you think I'm gonna get my dream man like this?
I'm telling you, the first thing I thought of was Michael Jackson's Thriller, man. I paid my way through half of college with Michael Jackson.
No, it's because the filter got these eyes on it. I hate this. But look, I'd rather listen to answer your question. I'd rather be a feeling. Because niggas, you could do all of that. They can remember your sound, your voice, your fragrance, all that shit. I like when a nigga love how I feel. You get what I'm saying? That's what I've been told to feel real good. Pussy on Florida. You know what I'm saying, Kevin?
I guess.
With that drip in it.
Okay. The question I was asking is, do you ladies want men to make you feel good, or do you want better outcomes? And see,
when it comes to men, you gotta have both, because you can't be having no good outcomes and then a dick trash. I don't like.
Oh Lord, have you been drinking?
Oh no, of course not. Of course not. no. Okay, listen. The outcome and all that stuff is good, but I'm gonna always go searching elsewhere if I'm not getting pleased. If that makes sense. If you're not pleasing me, you could be the best man in the world. I could have flowers by my bedside. You could take me shopping from here to motherfucking Italy, wherever. If the feeling is not there, and you could develop a feeling too. You could develop a feeling
But
for a
Tommy,
minute, like.
but what I'm saying is today. Now, see, first off, you're in a different group. You have a different life than a lot of women. And today, women are being told things like in the church. If you go to church, I grew up in a church and there was actually Old Testament, New Testament. There were sins and there were things you should do or should not do. Today, everything goes in the church.
Okay.
And that's why the men are gone. So what I'm saying is women are being told what they want to make them feel good, but they're not getting the outcomes. You can get the outcomes that most women can't get. Your eyes are messing with me in this damn filter.
I'm sorry. Wait. I hate it when they do this, but this is a good filter, y'all. GG. Okay, don't look at my eyes. Just keep talking.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna bring somebody. What are you doing? Are you actually getting ready for a shoot or something?
Yes.
I'll be back in LA in about 3 or 4 weeks. Good. I'm gonna get onto some next book. I'm gonna connect with you.
I want to with you too, so please be sure.
This is my hairstyle. She love you.
Yeah, we will do that. I'm gonna be back in LA in 3 weeks. I got to come out there to do I don't want to say what I'm doing, but it's gonna be dope. I'll talk to y'all later. Have fun, sis.
Kevin.
Bye bye. Love you too. Bye bye. All right, folks. Shout out to Tommy Lee. Look, ladies, let me make it clear. I am not talking about. Can y'all hear me? I'm trying to get better audio when I have these conversations. I'm not talking about having good results and then having a man or just men who don't say anything that make you feel good or speak life into you. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a video I did a couple of weeks ago where I said women love liars and cheaters. There are folks that would really make you want you to believe that you can do whatever you want, have no discretion. The world is yours. But the problem is the men don't agree with that. And that I see it leading women down a path of being alone. All right, but you know what? I probably need to do that on a YouTube video because that's going to need to have an actual visual, a vigorous discussion. Going to the show I'm doing tonight. Ladies, what is your sexual marketplace value? What is your sexual marketplace value? And this is what I need you to understand. I judge women based upon women of the past. Especially when I judge black women, I get a lot of heat for how I judge black women. I'm judging you against Pam Grier, Diane Carroll, Eartha Kitt, classic black beauties. I'm not judging you against European standards of beauty or whatever. So at the end of the day, ladies, if you are, just think of it yourself as a product. If you're overestimating your value, you're going to ask for too much. And if you're asking for too much, how are you going to get what it is you really deserve or what's fair? Let's talk about it. I'm not trying to sit back and here's another thing. You never seen smile. People come over here. Why don't you just go ahead and make me up to be whoever you want me to be? I got news for you. I'm a human being like anybody else. I respond to what I get out there. Watch more of my content before you see or say anything. You don't do this to this person, do this to this person. Why don't you just say, I have bad faith and I'm looking for anything that he does to critique it? Why don't you do that? Talk about white women, please. Why? I'm not white. Why? Why do I need to talk about white women? I'm not white. There are plenty of white men to talk about it. Why? Why do I need to talk about white women? I'm not white. I lower your self-esteem? Well, let me help you out, Monique. Bye-bye.
Oh, hi.
Let me help you out, Monique. I'm going to help you out by lowering your self-esteem. I'm going to block you. Now leave, and you can raise your self-esteem. Why do I need to talk about white women?
I mean, I feel like you could talk about all races of women. I mean, I understand that you, in your...
First of all, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like, I think it would be better if you talk about other races of women because I feel like as a black woman, most black women feel like you're targeting us, even though that's perception. Everybody takes things and looks at things differently, but that's what a lot of people perceive you to be doing, to be targeting black women and down talking them.
Well,
So I'm
that
just suggesting.
so
Wait, you can't
so.
cut me off.
Oh no! First of yes, I actually can.
Okay,
This
you
is
can.
this,
You can.
oh yeah.
I'll wait.
No,
I'll wait because you're not going to
This is
disrespect
not my
me.
no
You're
no
not
no.
going to overtalk me or
Kick rocks,
disrespect.
kick rocks. I don't know who the fuck you think you are. Well, I don't know where you think that plays. And see, that's the point. You don't want anybody to target you. Everyone in this country has had their behavior evaluated. A black woman, and Sister Shahrazad Ali said that back in 1988, 89. So in other words, you'll take all the praise, but you don't want a, why do so many sisters not want a critical examination of the reality? It's coming whether you like it or not. And it's some of the most disingenuous, hypocritical crap I hear of. Why don't you, instead of you saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you just act better? Was there a reason to come on here and do that? All I asked you was who you are, how old you are, and I let you speak. But to come into my program, my platform, and tell me what I can and cannot do at 27 years old, that's why we talk about who we talk about. Thank you guys for proving the point. Every time you try to tell me what I should and should not do, all I do is have a conversation with who shows up, and the reality is what it is. That's what I do. I don't make it up. I don't edit it. In real time, I just have a conversation. The first conversation was with a black woman, and it went fine. The next conversation with a black woman goes off the rails. What's the difference? They were both black women. The problem is staring most people in the mirror. No, you're not coming back on. Nope, I get the problem is staring most people in the mirror. So that's what that be. All right, what's your sexual marketplace value? And it is not, N-O-T, not how much you make. It's not how much you make. It's not your education. When I ask you what you bring, when a man asks you what you bring to the table, and you start talking about your college degree, your income, your education, that's not what men really value first. The nerve. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you go do it on your platform? I'll ask this question too. Since we're here, who can discuss black women? It seems like the people who discuss black women, the only thing it seems that you want to hear is the men who tell you you're queens, goddesses, the mother of the earth, Oshun, Osiris. Just you want the praise. Are you above reproach? Because that's what it's starting to look like, that no one can say anything to you. No man. Even if a man just has a conversation, who the nerve are you? Who are you? That won't work, folks. Ladies, that won't work. It'll work to end an argument, but you know what it won't do? It won't change the fact that in our community, right as us, 1 in 4 will marry. That ain't gonna change no matter who talks about it. At what point do we talk about it? Or is it just better to stick your head in the sand? Why don't you do better instead of worried about this? Instead of worrying about who talks about what, why don't you improve overall? That's what black men had to do. The world talks about black men from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And black men had to take it. Cops, America's Most Wanted, popular media, radio, daytime TV, newspapers, magazines, inundated with negative black male depictions. And black men just had to take it. But then black men, just like most men, said, all right, I can't change this, but what I can change is who I am and how I go out there. And black men raised themselves to being 51% are single and childless. 64% are in the middle class. Black men are doing far better the last 20 or 30 years, but where are their counterparts to go ahead and build anything? Counterparts don't want to have anybody discuss it, or you just want praise. Sorry, you got plenty of people to praise you. I'm going to have the conversations as they happen. If praise is due, I give praise. But if correction is due or a different point of view is given, I'm going to give that too. And if that's not what you want, don't come. Go to the place that tells you you're the best thing ever. You are the queen, goddess, mother earth, and you deserve to be deified and such and so forth, and go there. What you're going to find is there'll be a man standing up there saying it, and then the entire audience will be filled with women and children. There won't be any men there. Well, not any heterosexual single men. So let's get to it. Sexual marketplace value. What do you rank? What is your value? What is your number, ladies? How do you know? How do you know what your number is? Is your number accurate? Why is this important? It's important because if your number is inaccurate, can't see you. If this number is if your number is inaccurate, your asking price is going to likely be too high. If your number is too low, you're not going to be asking for enough. Ladies, are you asking for too much, not enough, or is it just right? For what it is you say you want. Are you asking for too much, not enough, or is it just right? How do we get to a middle ground of having better outcomes? That's the real question. How do we get to a better outcome of having a middle ground of having better outcomes? As the year progresses, I talked about I'm going to start doing things differently on here and here. I'm starting to have more people interviewing. I'm actually working to get, let me see if he responded. I think, brother, let me see. Let me see. I don't want to say something ahead of time. Just a second. All good. I have my teams to contact you. I'm going to hit you here. Cool. Guys, I'm looking to bring in other men on the platform so you can hear it come from them and other women. Because at the end of the day, we're going to have to start having a middle ground conversation. I don't want people to agree with everything I say. It's not the point. What I do want to do is I want to see more men who say they want to be married, children, family, legacy. I want more of the men that say they want this stuff to have women that want to be on the same page with them. That's the outcome. Like-minded men, like-minded women who want an outcome. I'm not trying to change everybody. That's why it ain't about me. So saying you this, you that, you this, you that, what are you gonna do? What's the outcome you want? And if you want to work towards that goal, getting better outcomes for men and the women they want, then I'm with it. But this platform is men first. It's about helping the men get the outcomes they want. And part of what the men want is they want women who are wanting to actually get with them and build a life. And unfortunately, like it or not, men are saying that there are not enough women who are wanting to do that thing. So we got to start from one thing. Well, ladies, why are you, I asked this on YouTube. Can you explain why you're single without blaming men? Why are you where you are today? Why are you where you are right now without blaming men? That's a question for any woman in the West. Why are things the way they are? Why are you where you are? If you're the freest, most educated, women with the most options, why is it that so many women are choosing to be utterly alone? Is it really a choice? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to post that one back up. That's 3. Yeah, I can't tell who that is. Bingo. Here we go. That happened. I'm sorry, the comment was off. That's wrong. Yeah. So just know anybody who wants to get on the platform, that stuff that they will ask someone try to pull, don't try to get your 5 minutes of fame or your 15 seconds of fame. It ain't gonna work too well. I'm not doing this to have an argument with anybody. It's to have a conversation. If you can't have a conversation, think, don't cut me. Do it on your own page. So here we go. I got to give her a chance to get back. Here we go. I got to restart this. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it. It's stuck. All right, it's stuck. So, shit. We'll try it that way. Maybe that'll unstick it.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. What do you want to discuss tonight? Which topic?
Well, you just asked, why are you single without blaming a man?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to just answer on my point of view as to why I'm single.
Go ahead.
I would say initially, I feel like we always tend to blame the other person, but being that I've been having time to reflect, I've noticed that I have a codependency, and I feel like the person that I was with, they showed me and told me what they wanted, and they didn't want a relationship. But I stuck around because of my low self-esteem, because of things that I lacked within myself, self-love. So I allowed things that weren't really fulfilling to me or made me happy, or, I basically settled because of the things that I lacked within myself. So that's, so I came to a place where I was like, I was unfair to set expectations on you because I already knew what you wanted. So I'm sorry. And that's pretty much what I said to the person,
Okay.
I for a long time, I was like, you didn't step up. You weren't like, you didn't show me enough affection or enough love. You didn't show me that you wanted me. And it was like, what was wrong with me that I felt like I had to sit there and say, pick me, love me?
How long ago was this relationship?
It's been over now for like 6 months.
Okay. And how long were you guys together?
2 years.
2 or 3?
2.
2. Have you gotten into any counseling or therapy to deal with? Oh.
No.
Okay. Why not?
Because I've for a while I've been through a lot of things in my life, and one of the things that has helped me is my spirituality and my relationship with God. So I kind of feel like that's enough for me. But
God made counselors.
Right. So I realized that God made counselors just like he made doctors. And I feel like I do need to tap into, sitting down with someone who, can help me understand more so why I think the way I think. Because I've been through traumatic situations, and I feel like those traumatic situations that I've experienced kind of made me feel like I wasn't worthy of certain things. So, for example, you speak a lot about like high value men, right? And I'm a woman, I'm 26, and, I own 2 businesses. I'm a founder in one and then a co-founder in the other. So, I mean, it's building up. It's brand new. It's a startup. And I'm not where I feel like I want to be yet. But let's just say.
As far as what?
As far as like income and like my lifestyle, things like that. I want more for myself.
What is life about?
What is life about? Happiness, right? Love? No? What?
People.
Okay.
So I was going to let you talk, and you were going to tell me how you're so busy and this and that, and my business is not where it was, so I don't have time. Life is about people. Have you ever sat down with somebody 80 plus years old in like a retirement community or something like that? One thing they really never talk about is, I wish I made more money, or I wish I'd have worked harder. They talk about the things they regret, and it's usually about relationships.
Yeah, it's true.
So if you know you're self-described codependent and you're not going to counseling, you're just going to throw your codependency into business? Okay, then guess what'll happen? You'll wake up and you'll be smack dab in the danger zone, and you still won't be any better off for the next potential person that you run into. You're just, see, like it or not, women have to get the major parts of their life together earlier. Do you want children?
I do.
Do you have any children?
I do not.
All right. Well, I'm not the creator, but before you need to have your children before age 35, before geriatric pregnancy attaches. And usually most OBGYNs will tell you need to have your children, period, by age 42. That's crazy that we're even talking about that, but it's because so many women are postponing the things that make life worth living, people, family, community.
Mm. So I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
When do you think is the right time to move on or build with someone new? I know I need to work on myself more because I have, as you mentioned, like, you know, therapy would be a good thing for me. But at what point do you think would be a good time? Because I'm going to be honest, like, I met someone and I would like to consider them a high value man. And I just feel like, I don't want to say I'm not worthy of it, but how can I?
See? Well, in general, the general benchmark is a third of the time you were with somebody is how long it takes to heal. That's a general benchmark. But there is no scientific formula for it except this. Once you can take accountability for what you were and you really become indifferent about that person. See, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. What you just said, what I said earlier. You're 26, and most young women, especially most young attractive women, move as if men will never run out. You do realize there's going to come a time very soon that men are going to stop really approaching you like they do.
Yeah, I do.
So if you run into a suitable man right now and you're the unsuitable or unfit one, you can't really sit back at 35 or 40 years old and say you didn't have an opportunity.
Mm.
So I asked what's life about, and it's not about all the stuff you're talking about. That's important, but is that what really makes life worth living?
No, it's not.
Right? How many do you have any siblings?
I do.
How many?
Total is 6 of us.
How many children does your mother have?
She has 5.
All from the same man?
No,
How many fathers?
3.
Did she marry any of them?
Yeah, she married one of them.
Was your father was the man she married?
No,
Is she still married?
no,
All right. So arguably you didn't have stable relationship model,
nope.
but you still did have family of sorts. Where are you at in the birth order?
I'm the 3rd.
Oh, you're like a middle child. Yeah, that starts to make sense. Yeah, therapy. Therapy. I always recommend therapy because, see, when I was your age, I had something that most people didn't have. I had just got over chemotherapy and cancer.
Oh,
At 21 years old, when I was ready to take on the world, the universe had other plans, and I had to stop, sit down, have a tumor the size of my foot removed from my abdomen to get 8 months of chemotherapy, and realize that guess what? You can die. It makes you reevaluate. You're still living life like you got plenty of time. Like there's no real hurry. So if whatever guy you believed in, if he said, guess what? You're only going to live till 40 years old. Do you think he'd still be postponing therapy and relationships?
mm-mm.
Why?
Because I want to experience having my own family.
Because it's more important than the jobs and the businesses. I mean, that's stuff that you need to support that. But what's more important is that.
Right. And you know,
So,
oh, sorry.
so that's all I'm saying is most people fear therapy because they don't really want to. It's kind of like it's kind of like if you ever drove a broke down car. You know kind of how it pulls to the left and you have to pump 3 times to do this. You know all the routines.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get somebody a new car, they got to learn a new routine. After therapy, you're going to have to learn a new routine. You spend 26 years of your life becoming the person you are. But the thing is, has it been an enjoyable 26 years? Do you like your life?
I would like to say that I like how far I've come, because as I mentioned, when I was 17, I went through a very traumatic situation too for 5 years. And I believe that that's what kind of like, I remember going through that situation and telling my dad, oh, I don't think a man will ever love me. I feel like, I don't know. Like, I think a lot of my, feeling like
Imagine, so by comparison, you're better than you were, but do you like your life overall?
it depends on, I mean,
Would
honestly,
you want a daughter to have your life?
yeah.
Traumas and all.
What is it?
Traumas and all.
No.
Okay. So what I'm saying is we get to choose our life. We don't get to choose what happens to us. We get to choose how we handle it. So at 26, you can do everything you talked about doing and get your head together to understand your issues, whatever they are, start working on them, spin the plate of businesses, and spin the plate of relationships. You don't get a chance to do them one at a time. You don't get to do them one at a time. Therapist just told me I'd make a good therapist. Yeah, I'm mad at I'm talking to you after this too, Miss Thing. Seriously, you know, I don't want to delve into what happened, but I don't want you to waste the next. You're 26. It's very critical that you decide what you want. Like if you want to be a wife, that's why I have. So it's not to make women pissed off. It's like the yellow light that says you either need to stop or speed up, but you can't just keep doing it. And at this point, when you're 80 years old, do you want to have a husband, children, grandchildren, maybe great grandchildren? What do you want?
I honestly, like, I'm a, like, I don't enjoy, and this is why I feel like I'm like so codependent, because I don't enjoy being single. Like, I'm not the person who.
That's not codependent. That's human.
Oh, okay, fine. So it's normal. Some people make it seem like, oh, that's weird. You don't like to be single. Like, being single is fun. For me,
No.
I don't think.
Are these single women?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. See, the problem is women your age are being told by women your age that let's just go out and have hot girl summer, when 50, 60 years ago, women your age, fun was being a wife and a mother and living and building in a community. Because all the stuff that your friends are calling fun now,
Yeah.
I mean, you can have 1 or 2 good years of that, but it's time to graduate and move on to the next thing. I said this before, and your friends may not mean it, but single women keep women single.
Mm.
And if you know you want a family, children, and a husband, you can have that and the things you say you want, but you have to prioritize it, because if you don't focus on what it is you want downstream, that time will pass. I know plenty of women who really want to be wives and have children, but now their options are limited because were not given the information that they needed to do something about it. These kind of conversations weren't around even 3 years ago. So therapy, understand yourself, realize that we're all jacked up. You just got to find somebody whose crazy matches are crazy. Find somebody who you can work with, respect, build with, and move on down the path. And if your friends who said that you're codependent or whatever, they want something different, love them, move them on down the path. You can still be friends with them, but you need a different kind of group of friends that want a lifestyle to support you, because it will be very hard to be a woman who wants to be married with children with a bunch of friends who want to be hot girls. You're going to have to be in a community and a culture and a neighborhood that supports what you want. And see, you sound to me like you'd be happier over in a relationship with a man that meet your needs, ideals, have a family, an extended family, and all that other stuff, then all the other stuff you're talking about, the business and everything else, just goes on top of that. I'll say this and I'm going to wrap it up. Any decision made in fear, scarcity or lack tends to be a wrong-headed decision. If it's always fear-based, if it's always scarcity or lack-based, you need to rethink that. That's why therapy is so good, because you have somebody to talk these things through, and they're not your friends. Your friends are meant to be friends. The therapists are meant to help you get on down the path. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye bye. And most first sessions are free, so don't wait. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Many therapists give an initial consultation for free. So don't let money be a reason why you don't seek a professional opinion. I'll turn the comment back on. Look, what just because you choose to be a wife and a mother does not mean you cannot still be the same professional kind of woman you thought you would be. It's about choices and trade-offs, folks. You know, that's why it's hard to speak. It's hard to let me see. It's hard to cover all bases in general talking points. But at the end of the day, whatever it is you want, do that. Let me see. It's hard to cover all bases in general talking points. But at the end Hello, you got to turn the TV off in the background. Do that. You got to turn the TV off in the background.
Yeah, I think it's off now.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 25.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about how to make these concepts more digestible for my age group. I date someone who's older, and he is the one who really brought me to your content, and it took me a while to really accept what you're saying. I know that I'm a rather sensitive person, so a lot of times I'm like, he's so mean, but like after seeing how women respond to you and really catching on to the patterns, I'm like, okay. And so it's taken me a while, but now I really kind of see.
When you say digestible, what do you mean?
I think that women in my generation, especially people who want to be married and have successful relationships, have a lot to learn and a lot to gain from the things that you say, but get so caught up in maybe what comes off as insulting or, I don't know, intimidating, that they miss the rest of what they would otherwise agree with or see as valuable information.
Okay. It's meant to do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, because your generation has been told you can have everything and there are no limits.
Mm-hmm.
And your world is your oyster. It's called a pattern interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to shock you and get your attention to realize that, guess what? You've been lied to. You can't have it all. You have to make choices. There's a movie called The Matrix. Came out in 99, 2000. I don't know if you watched it before.
My older boyfriend showed it to me during the pandemic. So it's
all right.
Yeah.
So when Neo was given a choice between the blue pill, which is the good feeling, go back to sleep and believe whatever you want, or the red pill, do you remember what happened to him? The shock of that system, waking up, oh shit. But in order to become who he needed to become, he needed to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
If the media messages have been telling women, don't worry about it, postpone marriage, you can do whatever you want, such and so forth. Why do you think that message exists? Because one, it keeps more consumers in the market. Two, women spend more than men. The messages are for the 73% of women who spend the dollar. So I get it. The message is shocking. It's because you guys are more asleep than any other generation. My generation didn't realize how asleep we were. Then the next generation is more asleep than that, and the next generation is more asleep than that. My generation is just now starting to come around and say, you know what? We didn't know these things. So the need to shock your generation into reality with Cosmopolitan lying to you ladies to sell you tampons, vacation homes, pianos, and everything else, while those women were married and had their kids, is important.
Mhm.
So I have moderated my message quite a bit. I moderated it quite a bit. And I do my level best to try to have one-on-one conversations. But if you think of the shock as a result of how bad the problem is. Have you ever
Mhm.
had to have you ever been in a hospital before?
Yeah.
A broken bone or anything?
I had a surgery. I've never broken a bone.
Did you have to did you have to actually go under?
Yeah.
Did they give you pain shots and everything afterwards?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. The painkiller they gave you after the surgery matched the level of pain you had.
Hmm.
That's the strength of the painkiller. But as you got better, you went from strong narcotics, opioids, to lesser, to eventually to Tylenol or to ibuprofen, to where you could just kind of get over it. But as you healed, the strength of the medication decreased.
Hmm.
But the strength of the painkiller was a response to how hurt you were.
Yeah.
That's what my message is. I reflect what I get back.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it makes sense. That's why you're able to have like more successful conversation with someone who maybe like gets it compared to the people who I think really could use the message more, but I feel like they miss it. It's almost like I feel like you are preaching to the choir, because the women who come on here and have unsuccessful conversations with you, I feel like are the ones who probably have the most to gain. And so I'm just wondering, like, are the people who don't have somebody to keep showing them, whether it's your content or anyone else, like you can't be the only one doing this. Like it's in the music, it's in the media, it's in how we're raised. Like I have my own story about how I feel like my mother's decisions have like impacted my lives, or I see my friends who were raised by single parents, single women. I'm starting to see the patterns myself, but I just feel like, it can't just be a small group of people who tune in and get it. Like if it's everywhere, how, like, I just feel like it's a really big
Well,
problem that one person
but
like your fix.
that's true. And I didn't go looking for this.
Yeah.
Like I said Monday, I'm the hero you got. I may not be the one you want. I'm the one you got. But look at how far it's come since May of last year. It's getting out. And let me back up. Number one, the person I'm talking to is the person I'm talking to. But what you don't see is the people who are at home saying, you know what? I didn't realize what my thoughts sounded like coming out of someone else's mouth until I heard it. I
Yeah.
get letters from women saying that, oh my God, I saw myself in her and I did not like it. So it's a teaching experience. That's one path. Another path is just like most, it shocked me, it bothered me, but then they keep coming back. And it's like, I didn't like you, but then I finally got over it. And it's not just me, because you said your boyfriend brought you here. Well, that's one person who's been affected by the message.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the person who's in front right now, but I don't need to be in front. I just want more conversations to be had so we can get to better outcomes. I said this a long time ago. It's really not about me. But I have taken that. So people who are watching, I have taken that into consideration. People like, well, the tone, can you moderate the tone? I don't know how often you watch, but there are times where I'm really struggling to try to keep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, you touch on sensitive things. Like shortly before I joined the live, I was having an argument about not an argument, but I was debating with him, like, I'm an 8. Because you were earlier talking about the, divided by your body and your face. And I'm like, well, so, I mean, it's just, you sometimes are talking about things that are polarizing, especially for the individual.
Yes. And the thing is, unfortunately, we have to find a way, especially in our community, to have conversations about sensitive, polarizing topics. Because if we don't, we won't get any better. I mean, I'm an image consultant, for Christ's sakes. I'm an image and style and fragrance guy. And I have people from that side like, why do you talk about relationships? They talk about them too. They just don't get as deep as I do. They would not dare to talk about some of the topics, and they certainly wouldn't inject race into it. And I've been doing this for a long time, and it's just now starting to catch on. But sometimes when you don't necessarily pick what your purpose is, and apparently I have a talent for it. So what I'm looking to do is have more people realize that it's not here to tear anything down or hurt anybody. It's actually here to help men get the outcomes they want. And what there really is to get women to start to understand that we're different and we get nowhere without each other.
Yeah.
So just like you and I had this conversation, how long have you been watching my content?
Probably for the past 3 months. And I will say that I can thank you because some of what I struggle with in the relationship that I'm in is the person who I date is an entrepreneur, and I'm in a really corporate job. So for me,
Yeah.
So I have this image of what I want in life. I'm a little bit young at 25, just having graduated, and have this mindset of, I worked hard, I should get this, I deserve this. And dating an entrepreneur,
delayed gratification, can't spend the money just yet.
Yeah, or just, sometimes it's, well, here's this idea that they're working towards, and I don't know, like, how feasible is this? Or, I have a lot of certainty on my end, but there's uncertainty on their end, and just feeling like, see people.
Well, let me give you a different standpoint. First of all, imagine you've been watching me for 3 months, but a year ago, you probably would have thrown something at the TV. That's a testament to how far we've come. That you can even get to the point to where you can even contact me. Because a year ago, it would have been like, who the fuck is this? I would shut it down. But going to corporate America, let me say something. I come from corporate America. And one of the things I realized in my career is I sold in excess of $45 million in products and services. And I thought I was safe. But then I realized that after the 70% weight, I realized that I'm really not safe, because every job I worked at, people were getting fired. There were downsizing. There was bankruptcies. And the longer you work for a company, the more you cost. They can bring somebody in. Working for someone is actually the most vulnerable thing to do long term. So you being corporate and him being an entrepreneur, how can you take your corporate structure knowledge to help him improve his entrepreneurial way of doing things? And then how can you take his entrepreneurial knowledge to learn how to get away? See, then that's the difference between you being corporate and him being an entrepreneur. Now at least the conversation is being had. Because eventually, what vertical, what industry are you in?
I'm in deals.
Okay. With that deals, sales?
So mergers and acquisitions. So
M&A, okay.
Yeah.
So most people in M&A start because I'm a professional salesperson. So M&A, consulting and angel investors, people I do consults with daily, you guys complement each other more than anything else. It's just, can you work together and build for a lifetime?
And that's exactly where we're at. I sometimes feel insecure about where his financial future is headed, just because, again, it's whatever he does is what it is. But he often tells me, like, you're in a position to help me get to where we're trying to go. Like,
Are you a Christian? Were you raised Christian?
I was raised Christian.
Are you familiar with Bishop T.D. Jakes? Bishop T.D. Jakes often talks about when he was starting out in West Virginia. He's an extremely successful man now, very rich. But listen to the stories about how poor he was coming up. And he told a story about when the car broke down, and the car was about having his wife walk with him. And as broke as they were in rural West Virginia, she still did her duty and responsibility to her husband, who was down bad. That's why she gets anything she wants now. See, you're the security now.
Yeah.
He's the risk, but it's not a risk. He's the investment. When let's assume you guys get married and he starts a business and it fails, because most entrepreneurs fail 1 or 2, 3 times before something works.
Yeah.
But then when it works and you've been doing your thing for 15 or 20 years, you reach that glass ceiling or whatever, there's an ability to come and take these skill sets and take it over here to where you employ your own children and employ your own community to where you have the option to stay here or there. That's actually the smartest way. One in, one out. Because then you're not beholden to anybody.
Yeah.
And see, the beginning of having all this conversation is having a woman and a man sit down and talk about important things up front that are contentious, that are scary, that are sensitive, in a way to where you feel safe and he feels safe to have these conversations, and everybody's not holding their cards close to their chest and not willing to trust anybody with information. This program has shown how to have difficult conversations, and it's a skill we did not learn.
Yeah.
So I think this is where we are right now, and people will see the conversation we had and they'll learn from it, and we'll get better, but we're still gonna make mistakes. I'm human. I'm gonna fail a lot, but we're gonna fail moving forward. And how long have you guys been seeing one another?
About 1.5 years. We met on LinkedIn, so that's a pretty funny story.
Time to go ahead and pull the trigger.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, we've actually both seen you in person. So we're like in your backyard. So
there you go. Time to go ahead and pull the trigger and formalize it. See, as I don't want to say the names of the people I was just talking to, but they're Black business people. And I think we need to hear more from our business class and less from our, no offense to our entertainers, musicians, athletes, entertainers. We need to hear more from our business class so we understand the investment. It's not risk, it's investment. It's only risk if you don't plan on being there the long term. It's an investment if you plan on being there.
Investment in being in business?
Yeah. Well, like you mentioned his business.
Right.
Whatever, even from failures, trust me, go back and watch some of my videos go back to the earliest videos and look at how shitty they were. But there was all investment to get here.
Mm-hmm.
But I would not have had the benefit of the ROI now if I had not been willing to fail in public. They keep pulling my pictures and roasting me left and right. Failures. But what they don't talk about is what I'm talking about now in the results. And I don't worry about it because I knew back then why I was doing what I'm doing now. And see, that's the power when a man and a woman really get on the same page and start talking about practical stuff, pragmatic stuff. That's our true nature. CIA, FBI complementing one another versus I got this, you got that, and I'm good, you good. Yeah, we both be good, but we're not great alone. We're better together. So appreciate it, sis. Have a good one.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, look, you will never hear me try to act like I'm a messiah or I know everything. I know what I know, and I stay heavily in my lane. When it's time to start talking about finance and this and that and real estate, I'll bring on professionals, and I'll shut up. I talk about what I know, but when it's time to bring it up, and as this continues to grow, we have to learn how to have contentious conversations in good faith. And the more we see that practice and model, I think more often than not, people will learn how to do it. I have faith that most people can learn how to have a better outcome. There are extremes on either side, but for the most part, I think that everybody wants to have the outcomes they want to have. It's just, the question is, the hell is she here? Can we start moving? Let me say this. Can we start moving on offense instead of defense? Can we start moving in fear and start moving in possibility? And see, That's why I keep on playing the PhD and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, sure, there are a lot of women. There are women out here who are getting it done, but getting it done by yourself is a different life than getting it done when you have somebody uh, and a family and a support system. Whatever your choices are, they're your choices, but you should at least be able to make the choice to do it by yourself if you choose to, or the choice to marry. That's why I said I'm a feminist. I know people get pissed off, but feminist really just means women have the ability to make a choice. That's what it comes down to. All right, let's see. Turn the comments back on and see who next. Oh, there was a request up there. Okay, I don't see who that is. If I don't see your face, I can't let you in. And to try to make the message more palatable, yeah, always. It's always a work in progress. I'll never be the one saying I got the answer. You got to respond to the market. Only a fool ignores his market. I'd be a fool to sit back and say, no, I'm going to just do it this way. No, too shiesty. They're like Pooh Shiesty. She got her finger up. Uh-oh. Okay. I can't see this stuff. So if you want to jump on, let me know. What's wrong with these shiesties? Brr. Have we talked? I think we have. I'm not sure. Pooh Shiesty. All right, so here we go. What do you rank? How do you rank yourself? How do you know what your SMV is? Ask some men. Honestly, ask guys. If you really want to know, ask. And yes, there's a subjective component, but in general, in general, 8s, 9s, and 10s, or 8s, 9s, and 10s, wherever they are. Adjustable 6s, the ability to go from cute to pretty, the most flexible category. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Man, my wind is high. How old are you?
29. I'll be 30 in June.
So what are we talking about?
Well, I joined your live later, but I just wanted to give from a women's perspective, in agreement with you, like maybe like I heard the other young lady saying a lot of women find your delivery to be harsh, and it's I saw you on Shade Room, and literally I cannot go into a room where there's not, like, if I meet up with my friends, if I meet up with my sisters, your name comes up, and so I was like,
God damn.
So it's been funny. I have 4 children and I'm happily married, and my husband and I sit and listen to you, and most of it's laughter. I think the whole you have 3 lives and you're on live number 1. I think that was like maybe a week or so ago. We were in tears laughing. I've been with my husband since I was 21, and from a woman's perspective, ladies, I just want to say he's not lying to you. And I sit and I ask my husband, long before even hearing about you, very gruesome and personal questions, and I'm very honest with myself about what I need to change about myself, or what do you like about this. And so listening to you, I'm like, maybe I just think like a guy, or is Kevin just not all that wrong and more right? But it's women don't want to hear a man telling them. And growing up with a Puerto Rican Dominican mom, and then being around, and then my father's Black, but then being around my Black side of the family, I do see the difference in, for lack of better words, how a Black mother raises their daughters that grows up in a single home versus a Hispanic woman that raises.
Let me step in front of this bullet for you right now, because there are all kind of bullets coming at you right as soon as you said that, friend. Here's what it comes down to, and I don't blame Black women for this.
No, and I
don't blame Black women.
Black.
When you don't, it's we're not used to seeing Black men in a position of respect, responsibility, and being right. So the things I say are controversial more so because I'm a Black man. versus if they were like some of the things, if I were Dr. Phil or Joe Rogan or somebody else, would be more easily acceptable than coming from me. And I can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is we need to be able to change that because it needs to become more commonplace to where our women can see our men on the same level as they see anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I take a lot of stuff. I know my name is everywhere now.
Have you sorry to cut you off. Have you ever considered, I heard you, I think just tell another lady, you purposely have the delivery that you have, like you want to step on some toes.
It's necessary. It's necessary at times. It's necessary. I don't do anything without a reason. So I'm never just doing stuff to be provocative or
right.
It's always thought out. So most people don't recognize that if I'm doing something, just give me a second, I'll get there. If you watch my content, sometimes it may seem like I'm all over the place. Like, what the hell is he talking about? Next thing you know, 13 minutes later, I tie all the points together.
Mm-hmm.
My ultimate point is to get women to understand where the very men that they want are coming from, and get men to understand that just like we got bad information, women got bad information too. And in order to get anywhere, we're both going to have to give each other a certain amount of grace and mercy and good faith, because we're building this thing while we're flying it and we're all broken. And good faith is more important than anything else. And if both men and women in our community can start looking at each other as human beings with fundamental respect, like every other group of people, we're far more willing to give each other a chance versus just writing each other off. So
that and selflessness is the word that I would use. Like if both of us are selfless with each other, then you have nothing but room to win. He's doing everything for you and you're doing everything for him. And that's what's lacking heavily in our
I would take and that's like that's a 201 or a 301 class. I'm taking English 101 right now.
Okay.
Simple respect. Can you get respect from men, and can you smile at brothers? Okay, we got history 101, English 101, science for non-majors, just the basics. That's just the basics. We can get to our coursework and our degree path after we get the basics out of the way, because we didn't get it, and there's no way for adults to get that. And I'm not willing to write off an entire group because we didn't get it where we should have got it.
Right. No, I agree. And I think there's a huge, even talking to my friends, and like I said, I was just out having drinks with my sisters, and the men and the women brought your name up, and I was like, just saw you maybe the end of March on Shade Room, and then I saw you more in April, and I was like, okay, follow him and see what he's talking about. And so we've enjoyed it. But then I hear even my own sisters, they didn't like the delivery. But when I started breaking it down, what you're really saying, I'm like, you have to it's stinging because he's stepping on your toes. He's talking about you, like what you're saying to the other person. But a lot of times women think they want marriage. They think they want the relationship, but really you want a wedding. You want a person that's going to take care of you, but you don't really want him telling you anything. You don't want him to tell you what to do. You don't want him really as a part of your life. I've even had friends joke and say, I want the husband, but get me a separate house because...
Oh, I had somebody I was going to bring on the show for that. And what was it, Carrie Hilson? That she was in the news recently talking about, I could be married and live separately. And you know what? Look, I'm not foolish enough to believe that we're going to go back to Mayberry RFD. They're going to be different kinds of relationships.
Yes,
but at the end of the day, we got to be together in some form. So it's funny that you see me everywhere. That's crazy. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.
I didn't know who you were.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead. I was saying thank you for watching. I was about to move out.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Oh my. So let me talk about that. So I mentioned Carrie Hilson was put in some media saying that she could see herself married and living separately. And I've said that I know people who are divorced living in the same house. Look, This is about a game. This is a game of inches. Some not getting to life not by yourself. Um, however you want to make your arrangement, but can you get together with a man to where you're having a better outcome? I would never try to make it seem like I got the prescription for anybody. I just want to have I just want to open the door to have the conversation to get the outcomes people say they want. All right, folks, that'll going to do it for tonight. I am a little sleepy and I got some work to do. I'm going to upload a video that I think you guys need to watch. Let me make sure before I cut this off. I got an interview I'm doing tomorrow, so I got to get prepared for that. This has been fun, but I got to run. I like Instagram Lives. Let me turn this back on. Oh, I got another 15 minutes. What am I doing? Turn on commenting. If you want to go on the show, I got another 10 or 15 minutes that I can go. Look, I know my delivery at times bothers some folks, but most people who say it's my delivery can't say that they watched a show from end to end. Most people who watch at least one show from end to end understand that you're usually seeing me, it's out of context. And it's usually, if you're seeing me on places like this room or that room or this website, it's meant to be provocative. But that's not all it is. Eddie Murphy told a joke when Eddie Murphy did a comedy bit called Raw. And he had a conversation with Bill Cosby. And Bill Cosby was like, you cannot get on stage and say the things you say. And he's like, damn, I felt a little offended. He's like, man, he made it seem like I get up on the stage and just cuss. Dick shit come, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I do manage to tell some jokes. And that's the point. Between the barbs and the PhDs and the dog sounds and the taps, there's a lot of stuff. But it's there for the people who are willing to challenge themselves to listen to something that may be a little bit different. Guys, thank you guys. I'm going to end it for tonight. I think it's been good. I think it's been great. You guys are going to really love what you guys see tomorrow and this weekend. Mother's Day weekend is coming up. Make sure you holler at your mom. Make sure you holler at your mother. And don't forget to get your mama some flowers or a card. Do what you got to do. Say hi to moms. Till next time, peace out. One.